So we are volunteers in Krakow. And we are here with the organization STRIM, and we have to say that this is also a project with the ESC project.
The European Solidarity Corps that funds our project and gives us the opportunity to volunteer in Europe.
And the main reason we wanted to do this is for the people that want to do a volunteer. This is for you if you want to know more information about volunteering, the expectations, what to expect and everything. This is for you and you can listen this podcast.
And there is a lot of information for you guys if you are really interested with volunteering and ESC. Listen us, guys. You're going to find a lot of information.
Good information. So I think...
And now that we are information, now we are talking from our experience, so we hope you like it.
We mostly going to be talking about the things that we wish we knew before we became volunteers, so I think it will be useful for a lot of potential volunteers.
So take popcorns and a drink and enjoy. I'm Susana, I'm from Spain, and I work in a library as a teacher. Here we have 3 other more volunteers. Carmen, please.
Hello, my name is Carmen. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Spain too. And I'm here working in a culture house with kids and also helping with the hippotherapy. Yeah, with kids too.
Okay, this is Emir from Turkey and I am 28 years old. The old volunteer in the group, I guess. And I am volunteering in STRIM office. Yeah, there is no kids. Good.
Hi everyone, this is Davit. I'm from Georgia, not the states but the country. I'm 24 years old, and I'm volunteering at the special school in Krakow.
Amazing. So I wanted to start asking you the question. You say that you all work in different places. Why and how did you choose this project? Why you choose working in the STRIM office, Emir?
Okay, you were starting with me?
Yes, of course.
Amazing. Well, for me, it's. I was looking for something like this. The project was my goal, working in office and doing this kind of work. And before this project, I was already volunteering in Turkey in one of the organizations named Youth Association. And I also had a short volunteering project in Portugal. So I already had knowledge about volunteering, ESC, and the general topic. So I was looking something like this, and I saw that project and read the description of the project, and I said, yeah, this is completely for me, and I just applied. So then I came here.
Oh,
nice.
And Carmen and David, you both are projects with kids. Why? Did you choose working with kids, or it was like, oh no?
For me, I chose this project because I wanted to work with kids, actually. I finished my bachelor in psychology, and I did Erasmus before finishing, and I wanted to go abroad. So my goals were those two, like working with kids, because I want to focus my future on kids, and then, going abroad and meeting people from other countries. So I started to look for something in August, and I chose this because I liked Poland. Yeah, like I didn't have much idea of it, but I visited it before, like the capital, Warsaw, and I said, let's go for
Why
this
not?
adventure. Yeah, also it's a really good opportunity because they give you a flat, they give you the transportation. So yeah, it was perfect for me, I think.
So when it comes to me, I did not have like a specific decision that I wanted. I did not picture that I would be working with the kids. Initially, only thing that I knew for sure was that I wanted to go to Poland. So the next step was to choose the program actually, and an opportunity in the special school was the first one that popped up. And like Carmen, I also graduated from psychology school, but I'm not planning to connect my future career with kids. I'm more interested, and I have done adult psychotherapies before, but I really wanted to experience how working with kids would be, because I come from the family. My mom is a special teacher, and my grandmother was headmaster for the only special school in Georgia for like approximately 20 years. So I had this background, and I really wanted to see how it was. And also it's, of course, very interesting from the psychological perspective. And as a psychologist, I really wanted to know how they work with kids. How is it? Like, how do they run the lessons, and how different it is to be in the special school in comparison with the regular one?
I feel like all of them are super deep. And mine is just like, I think like to choose of these projects, or either you know which country you want to go, or you know what you want to do. Like for you was Poland. For me was I knew that I wanted to work like in the library with books or something like that. So I saw that I had the opportunity, and I didn't even check like the country or something like that. I just see books. I love books readings, and I say, okay, go on. And now I'm here in Poland teaching English and Spanish to Polish people. So it's like super deep, yours and Carmen, psychology with kids, growing yourself.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be deep.
No,
you know?
no.
I mean, but there is something that we have to consider about choosing the project. I think it must be the reason going in the project.
You
not
have
the
to,
country, because, you know, you like the country, but maybe the project is not for you. So after going that place and spending a few weeks, you would become like, oh, I hate this project because it's not completed for me, and it can become a nightmare for you. Because I've been talking with volunteers a lot. When I was in Turkey, I was doing kind of reports with volunteers who was doing their volunteering in abroad, and they were, some of them, let's say most of them, didn't choose the project. They were choosing the country. They were just, okay, I found this project in this country, doesn't matter because I want this country. But after a while, they were like just complaining about it because the project wasn't for them.
You have to also think that the project is like volunteers. You have two types of projects: short terms and long terms.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a country, maybe it's okay to choose a short one because you will be like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months maximum. But I think it's also that you said you have to choose the project that you like, because you're going to spend 1 year in the country, and it's going to be hard.
Exactly. And the place, I mean, for example, if you like the project, it doesn't matter where you go, even in a small village, you can be happy because the project is for you, so you do things that you like every day. So it's like perfect thing. Doesn't matter the place.
we have met people in the trainings that were in small villages, but they were together and they were having fun. For example, people that were in the theater, they were having so much fun, and it's okay. I mean, and also they give you a lot of opportunities, like a lot of different types of projects in all the countries. So, and I didn't knew about this before. So I think it's important to spread that we all have this opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of also lucky because we're in big city, Krakow, which is amazing city, and the project is amazing for me, at least I can say. Without any doubt.
Everyone has different experiences, and each of them is super different, and you live it in a completely different way, but it's like amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
But I want to note before choosing project, because I wanted to get away from Georgia also as soon as possible, and I just quit my job and everything, and I left my life behind. What I did not consider at that time, which I regret now, is that you have this 1 year volunteering, but actually I joined in the middle of the project, so I've been here for like 6 months, and you practically have only one opportunity, and it was my long-term straight away. And just to let everybody know, if you go for long-term volunteering first, then you're not able to go for the short-term one. But the opposite is the case. So if you go for the short-term first, then you're able to do the long-term. But I used this opportunity in a way that I came only for 6 months, and I lost the opportunity for the short-term volunteering also. And I did not think it through initially, but now looking at it, I don't know if I would change, my decision to come here, but I do have some regrets about that also, yes.
Well, I'm kind of lucky because I did both,
Yes.
and I did short term first, and in different countries. That was amazing experience for me, and it paved the way for me to come here as well. Because if you start with a small project, you are ready with the big projects.
Definitely.
And STRIM was one of them. So
Yeah, it's a good warm up for the longer.
exactly, because
project.
you see your limitations and your skills in foreign environment, and then you can say that yes, I am ready for a long term. So
Yeah. And you have more or less have like the basic idea of, even deeper idea, I would say, because 2 months is enough time to realize what the volunteerings are all about and how they operate and how things
exactly,
are
yes.
happening.
And with that, like now that we're talking about the country, the projects, how would you recommend to someone to choose a project? What are the topics that you will say, this is why you choose a project, this is why you choose this country,
Yeah, that's
for people that don't
I
know?
mean, as I said, I mean, they have to see it themselves, and they look inside and see their skills, and they ask the questions themselves, what they want, what they expect. I mean, this is completely personal thing. We can suggest something right now, and then they have to choose the project which is suitable for them.
Mhm.
Not the country. I mean, yeah, of course, country is also important, but the project. If you're suitable with the project, just go for it. You don't have to think about the place and the time. I think this is my suggestion.
Yeah, I think the project is the most important thing, because then the place, as we said, it's about the people and how do you surround yourself and what do you do there. You have to really see yourself, what do you like and what do you want to do. Because, for example, I applied for 2 volunteerings, this one in Krakow and the other one in Belgium. But that one was also working with kids, but it was in a small village and I was going to be alone there. So for me, that is not a good option, because I really like to be surrounded by people. And I saw that this volunteering was with a lot of people in a big city, so was more suitable for me.
What I would say is that I think digging into what this volunteering is about, like that specific project, would be great, because I have to say very honestly, like working with special kids is not for everybody. And I had my challenge also, even though it appeared to me that it was easier than I expected. But just because I also had experience, because my mother was also working with special kids, so I was psychologically already prepared. But there are some unexpected things happening in your workplace and in your target group that you're, working with. So I would definitely, I don't know, I'm just coming up with this right now, that you can definitely check, for example, because you already know the organization that you will be working for, you can check their previous videos maybe and see what previous volunteers were doing in that specific workplace, so you have better idea how to do it, because I don't want anybody to go for a project and then regret and don't feel, because if you don't enjoy doing something, even if it's volunteering and everything is provided, you're not going to enjoy the experience. So I think you should be sometimes it's hard that there are a lot of people who are not sure what they want to do, but at least to, have a bigger picture, or picture yourself, can I do this for 1 year? Like maybe it's going to be too much, or I'm not going to enjoy doing this for a year. So just thinking about it, I think could help.
And I think it's really important to ask people that has done it before. Because, for example, I checked on the website of STRIM and I saw that there was a Spanish girl. So I texted her, how was it? How was your experience? So that is also a good resource to look in the social media, ask people, don't be shy to ask.
Yeah, that was very smart of you, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
also
actually, yes.
Thank you.
Also checking the organization's social media accounts, website, everything that you can see. That's what I'm doing here, to make visible everything for the next volunteers. So
we appreciate that.
Thank you, Emir.
Thank
That's
you,
why
Emir.
also we are doing this
That's what I do.
podcast for the people who want
Yeah,
to.
that's my enlightened people. I love it.
We hope this is useful for you.
And Susana, what would you say about this?
I don't know, I feel like a volunteer is not very known for people. So when they are searching for this project, they just don't really search a lot of information. And when they come here with the project that they only read a few stuff, later they want to go. And that's why maybe a lot of people also quit the project and have this bad thing on the mind, but it's, as you say, searching information, seeing the social medias, seeing what really is about the project, and then you say, this is for me, I like it, I may enjoy it. And also it's super good to have people surrounded. Like you will think, no, I'm going alone. This is a project that I'm scared, I don't know anyone, but later you will make a family here.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
are
they
family.
definitely made a family.
Yes.
So even though maybe at the end the project is not what you expected, I think that it's super good that you're surrounded by people that also are doing a project, a volunteer, that also are fighting for things that maybe don't like, or you can talk and it gets really, really better, the situation.
Yeah, because we are in the same room, so we are fighting for the same. We are living more or less the same things, and here we don't have the family, so we have to create our own family.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think for me also there was one thing to consider. Like I didn't know much about Poland. I just knew few Polish people, and I knew that they were all nice, and I was close with them. But I've never been in Poland before, choosing this project and arriving through volunteering. But there's some cultural things also to consider because, well, you can relate also because you're from Spain and I'm from Georgia. Sometimes it could be hard because different cultures and different people approach you differently. And even though I've never had for 6 months, and I have to mention that I love Krakow so much, it's my home. I can call it my home.
Me too.
And I've never had any negative experiences with Polish people. I definitely see differences when I compare them to Georgians because, some societies are less social or they're more distant than the others. So that are the things to consider also because if before you make friends, you might find yourself to be isolated from this society, if you know what I mean. And because, for example, if I go to Spain, I know that if I don't make that many friends, at least I can, be very social with people everywhere I go because it's in the mentality. And here, sometimes it could be hard to make friends in a way because I would say not hard to make friends, but it takes longer to make friends in the Polish society, even though I love them so much.
It needs commitment.
And open-minded. You have to really be open-minded. What was your biggest expectation coming here to the project? Because, for example, me, I have nothing in mind. I just picked a project. I just wanted to try new things, be a new person, and I have nothing. I was like, where I'm going, I don't know nothing. I've never been to Poland. I'm going alone, so I have zero expectations. And I think for my side, that is better to come with zero expectations because later you get the better feeling like, wow, this is super good. If you have super high expectations, I'm going to do this, and that. And maybe it's different when you get to the country and to the project is different. So you will get, I know, I did it wrong. Mm-hmm. So I think it's better to just have zero expectation like I did. And now I'm super happy.
For me, it was the same. I didn't have expectations. I was super stressed at the moment because I had many things the month before coming here. And I also did the Erasmus the year before, but now I will say that they are different experiences, like studying, living in a dormitory, and now here in a city doing the volunteer, and now I feel like I have a routine. I didn't have any expectations at all. I didn't have time to think about it. I just said,
pick the plane and go.
Yeah, let's go and let's go. Yeah.
Me? Okay. Well, I had a lot of expectations.
Yes?
Okay,
yes.
I think because you did the short term.
Yes,
maybe.
I did, and I was volunteering for 2 years in Turkey already.
Wow.
I was in this environment already, and I kind of liked it after graduation because I have bachelor's on civil engineering, but I had nothing with it after graduation, and I just got in this environment and started working as a youth worker. I define myself like this, and I wanted to go one of the big organizations in Europe and learn more about the ESC and the organizations, how it works, and then maybe work in this field in the future. that was my expectation, and I think I learned a lot here. But here's the thing, that you can't sometimes continue because things are working differently as you expect in the organizations, and it's complicated. Continue, find a place and work in another country, especially if you don't know the local language.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my expectations were this kind of stuff, going, learning, and continue about this thing. But yeah, I mean, project is all about to finish, and let's see. I want to still continue, and in the future maybe I will find a possibility to do it.
Mm-hmm. You, Davit?
Well, for me, initially I did not have any expectations because once again I quit my job and I arrived here like in 10 days. I think I'm the only person who did this fast, and I arrived here without a visa, without anything. I just used my touristic 90 days basically to arrive here. Because also there was like this scheduling issue, and I had to replace the other volunteer very quickly. And I also wanted to take a break because I was exhausted, even though I enjoyed my life and I can never complain about my life in Georgia. I just wanted a change at that time. And I made my decision very quickly, and I couldn't even properly say goodbye to my family and friends, and I just arrived here super quickly. But even so, I developed these expectations on the way. Because when my friends found out that I was volunteering, then I heard, I met some people that were volunteers also, and they started sharing their experiences. And I attended also this arrival training and the midterm training, which is like a mandatory training, just to let everybody know that you will be participating in when you choose a project. So that was like an eye-opening moment also for me to create some expectations. I think these are the things that everybody should be prepared that, I'm going to be a volunteer, everything's going to be perfect, I'm going to have a very peaceful. It could be the case, but just, it's always better to prepare it so you're not shocked about something. So, yeah, for those people who are planning to volunteer right now, I would definitely tell that you can expect a lot of things, both positive and negative, and you should be prepared for that, and you should be willing to make sacrifices in certain occasions.
Mm-hmm. I think also you have to think about there is going to happen like negative things, of course, but it doesn't matter where are you living, positive and negative things happen, and you have to have the mindset that you are going to go through it and you are going to be independent. And also it helped me grow, to go through the negative here, in another country. And about the expectations, I have to say that I didn't have, but all my surroundings in Sevilla, they had, everyone was, because in Spain, I don't think we think too much about Poland. It's just a country that is cold and it's there in Europe. But everyone was like, but you are here, okay, why do you want to go? Why? Are you lost? And I was like, yeah, maybe I'm lost and I want to go and do things. You have to go through your expectations and the others. And if you really want to do it, do it. That also you have the opportunity, if you are not comfortable, to quit and go back. But try harder. Try harder, try to do things, go out of your comfort zone. If you really want to, you can do it, I'm sure.
And your phrase reminded me of the harsh winter that I went through here, which I think also is a thing to remember. Because when I arrived
finished, right?
Never.
Definitely everlasting winter. When I looked at Poland, I thought that it was like all season country, and everything is happening during all seasons. But I've heard some stories that the winter was super cold because my father used to live here, but I was not prepared of how cold it was. And I know that for some Polish people, it's not even a winter because of the global warming, of course, the temperatures are decreasing. But I think it's one of the things definitely to consider before you choose a project or where you are going, because sometimes the temperatures in the countries that you choose could be way hotter than you're used to and your body's used to, or way colder, which was the thing for me. And I almost cried multiple times because I didn't know even the techniques how to warm myself up. Even though I love Krakow, I have to say that surviving winter here was definitely a challenge.
Yeah, totally a challenge.
Like some mornings would you wake up and open the window and see again snow? Like when the first time that you see is wow, super amazing, but when you get to 3 months with no snow, is enough. Like sometimes you see it and you want to start crying because yes, it was cold, but I think I will not say cold, but I would say long. It was a long winter that every morning I wake up like, where is the sun?
And like the snow was beautiful, but when there was all clouds and super cold and you wanted to go out and you couldn't, like also the cold, but for me the hardest thing was the sunlight, the hours of sun.
Yes, I was going to say the thing.
It was night at 3 p.m.
Yes, that was the hardest part for me as well, to getting used to it. True.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is that it's day right now when it's even 10 p.m. because I think there was like a huge contrast between the times because now when I go to bed, it's still a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy how the days increase here because, usually in my country it's not happening that way, that there's like this huge difference between the winter and summer, like the daylight times.
And the sunrise that now is like at 4.
Yes. You go outside and like you enter maybe a club and it's night. Then later you go out and you feel like you're going to a new world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can say the people, maybe next volunteers, take into consideration that if you're going from south to north, it's a big problem.
Take
Can
a
be
big
a
coat.
big problem, yeah.
I mean, but also I love that I go through it because me being from the south of Spain, I was super scared about also the cold.
Okay.
Because I was living in the Netherlands, but it was cold, but not this cold. But also going through it and just learning that you have to put the jackets. One day I went out with like 4 layers, but I was okay in the street with 4 layers. Like I could go out. So for
when
me,
you think it is like, how are you going to put 4 layers, Carmen?
Yeah.
No. And then later when you go out, it's like, thank God I put 4 layers.
Yes.
And the best thing about it is that, for example, if I go back to Georgia and somebody says, oh, we just have a cold winter, I will be like, no, it's not cold. No, because, my body has like different hates right now and different...
You feel superior when you go back to your country. It's like, honey, let me tell you, this is not cold.
Yeah.
Why would you recommend a volunteer to someone? Why would you say, let's see that you're talking with your cousin and he doesn't know what to do with his life. Why would you tell him, do a volunteer?
Why would you, Susana?
Why? Good question, Carmen.
It's a really good question.
Yes, I prepare good question.
Would you
I hope
recommend
you have
it?
also your good answer, right?
I feel like volunteers are not really talk a lot. Also, I have to say that no one talks about volunteers, but when you say, oh, I'm going to do a volunteer to a random person, then later, like a week later, you heard a lot about volunteers. I don't know if this happened to you, because
What do you mean?
I met some, like I was talking with a friend, yes, I'm going to a volunteer. Never in my life with my friends I talk about volunteers or these experiences, and then later I started hearing, my cousin went also to a volunteer, yes, they pay for this, la la la. No, my friend also did this, and I'm like, why you didn't? I feel like people don't talk about the volunteer.
And I mean, you say they think this is like not something real to talk about. They
Yes.
don't. They think this is not worth. Not
Yeah,
worth it.
exactly.
Not worth it. I mean, for me, it's like it didn't exist before. I didn't know about all these opportunities until I start asking, like, hey, I don't have a plan. I don't know what to do. What can I do? Because I wanted to work abroad. And then I start listening about it. But before,
Nothing.
I didn't know about this opportunity.
It's like it appears. Once you go out with the thing and you say volunteer, when you say the word volunteer, you start hearing stuff.
Yeah, that's good. So we are promoting already. That's amazing.
Yeah. But I will recommend it to
for
everyone.
For European young people, it can be because there are a lot of opportunities that you can do, and you can travel between countries easily. So it's not a thing for you. But for Turkish young people, I can say it's a really big opportunity, and everyone almost knows about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're really willing to do this kind of stuff, because it gives you the opportunity to go another country and live and see, learn, improve yourself, right? So why would you not be interested? Turkish young people, they are suffering about this topic. Also with the visa thing, we have this kind of stuff that we need to apply for it. For example, you mentioned, Davit, that you can go touristical visa just for 3 months.
We can travel for 90 days without.
Yeah, most of people don't have this kind of opportunity in Turkey, unless if you have special passport. Some young people have because their parents work in governmenting places, because they have this long experience and they earn this passport. I think this is also unfair for the other young people, but this is another topic. But the other young people, they don't have this opportunity to go and travel around Europe, and they really want to do it. So volunteering is a good opportunity for this. So most of them, they know.
Also, the ESC gives you really good opportunities, because before, like some years ago, I wanted to do a volunteer, but I wanted to go, for example, to South America. And the webpage, volunteering, come here, we provide you this. Okay, but then I had to pay like 2,000 euros. How am I going to volunteer
and pay for doing a volunteer?
Pay all that amount of money that I don't have, of course, to go. I wish I could, but it was impossible. So since that moment, the idea of volunteering abroad was out of my mind. Like, no, if I have to pay to be a volunteer, I'm not going to do it. Like in Sevilla, yes, of course, you can do volunteers and you can look for them, but abroad. And then I knew about this, and
that's amazing. I so appreciate about this. It's called European Solidarity Corps, but it also consists partner countries as Turkey. So as young people, this is really good chance for everyone who is interested in. And I think, I don't know how to say, but I really appreciate European Commission, European Solidarity, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Sending
who invented this. Seriously, it's really, really, really important for discover yourself.
I would say I would definitely promote volunteering. I'm gonna start with like a regular volunteering, which I've done. Like I was volunteering for Red Cross Georgia for like approximately 2 years, and I was more or less, I have always been involved in volunteering, but in very different ways, and they're very different from ESC volunteering, of course. But it's just a very good way, especially for me, because I was always busy working, office jobs, changing jobs, so, always busy, trying to survive and, make a fortune even. And volunteering, it just allows you to do things for free that you really enjoy. And it was like a way for me to feel like a fulfillment in life. And it's funny that you mentioned South America, because my first volunteering, like, the way I pictured my first volunteering was because I was always interested in this, like, animal documentaries and, animal save the animals and, the sanctuaries. My first idea was, and the first volunteering that I actually Googled myself, and it was maybe 15, was how to volunteer in the animal sanctuary in Africa. But it was also related to a lot of challenges. But now that I know that, ESC exists and we have this opportunity, and I can totally relate to Turkish young people, because even though it's easier for Georgians to get to and travel to European Union countries, it's not that easy to stay or find jobs. So definitely, if you want to explore these cultures and you don't want to waste any money, or you don't, of course, traveling costs a lot, and you don't really get to dig into that culture when you're traveling for a few days. Like, if you want to explore the culture and not just stay in the single country, but travel around, because, for example, like traveling from Krakow to any other European country was way cheaper than what it would have been from Georgia. So it's definitely, like, I went to Budapest straight away and I met my friends there as soon as I arrived here. Then I went to Prague, and then I had to apply for residency, and I stayed in the country, but otherwise I would have continued traveling around. So it's definitely a good opportunity to find yourself, first of all, because I definitely am more focused on my life right now and have better vision of what I want. Good opportunity to live on your own, more or less, even though you're sharing like a room or a flat with somebody. You're still on your own in a way that you cook for yourself, you clean for yourself, and there's like mutual responsibilities shared in the flat. So it really, not that I did not have that, but I can see it, like I improved myself in that way. Like I love the washing dishes more than I used to, for example. But also it's a good way to get to this culture, because in Georgia you're not gonna see complete strangers living together, and just me living with different people from different countries. It was a very good experience, especially for me as a psychologist, because I love exploring people's minds and stuff, and hearing so many perspectives about from different countries and people from different countries. I think what this is like one of the main things what volunteering is all about, just exploring other cultures, meeting people from other cultures and uniting them, and seeing that even though you have some, you might have completely different mindset and different cultural background, you have so many things in common. I knew that from my Erasmus trainings, but living with somebody for a long term is like a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And I would definitely wish that everybody could experience this.
Also, I was scared because they told us that we were going to share rooms, share flat, but you didn't know who were you going to live with. Huh?
Yeah, and that voice in the room, yes.
Yeah. So I was like, what is going to happen? No, who is going to be my roommate? And because before I never shared a room, and of course I love being with people, but you never know, no? Your room is your space. But then you discover yourself like super adapting to the situation, being flexible. Even we live in a small flat, but we are super comfortable. I wouldn't expect it like this good, no? You are, maybe you are different, but you are here. You have all these things in common, your life here, so, yeah.
Now for me, if I think, like, before coming here, I knew that I will have a flatmate and also a person that I will also be sleeping with. And for me, before coming here, was like, wow, crazy. But now it's like, I don't see myself going into my home in Spain and going back to my bedroom and not seeing my roommate. It's like hard for me. It's like I feel like I will be super depressed, because sometimes you have a hard day and you just go back to your house, to your room full of people that it just make you forget everything and just enjoy more the moment. And going back and seeing that in my bed I will be alone, it's like a little bit sad.
Yeah, totally.
I also will recommend this experience to young people, because you will grow a lot as a person, and don't be afraid, because you will change. I felt like I'm another person. You will have a lot of friends here, a family, whatever, but you will be also alone. You will force yourself to be alone and to discover things that you didn't like before, or you may have think, wow, I'm never going to do this. But it's a experience where you will grow, discover things that you like, and you will be a different person.
Exactly. And I'd like to draw your attention another point here that you just talking. It's, of course, you're gonna grow a lot and you're gonna change, but you have to be open-minded,
of course,
for this. And you have to be motivated to grow, to improve yourself, right? Otherwise you're gonna make life like a nightmare for the other people if you're not gonna change for yourself as well. I mean, for also other people. This is an informal way to learning, growing yourself, and for this you have to be open for everything.
Yeah, for example, this doing this podcast for me is a huge example of growing. Like, I will never picture myself in this situation like maybe 1 year ago, like talking in English, doing a podcast like
in Poland
with
people that 8 months ago you didn't know.
Yeah.
That's why we appreciate it for
sharing, sharing your ideas, talking in English. Like before, I couldn't. I wasn't able to talk, and now, yes, like we are here, comfortable, talking about what happened, what we liked and not. So for me, doing this podcast is a huge example of growth.
Yeah.
And I
yourself.
want to add to, because you mentioned something very interesting, Emir, because I completely agree with that you have to be open for, accepting new experiences. Because I know a lot of examples, not just in my volunteering experience, but just in life, because I know a lot of Georgian people, for example, who moved to Europe and they just living their Georgian life there, if you know what I mean, in a sense that they don't let go of this very deep cultural norms and things. And when you're moving to a different country, you have to adjust a little to the local culture, but also be, ready to intake a lot of new information, get to know new people. Because what's the purpose of moving to another country? Being yourself in a way that, culturally yourself. And also, like, for example, I'm from Georgia, I moved to Europe, I still have Georgian people around, I live my Georgian life. So what's the point of me living my own country if I'm not open to meeting people from Spain or from Belgium or from any country? So definitely, like, the worst thing that you can do to yourself as a volunteer is to be locked up as a person, because I just want everyone to know that this is not an individual experience. You have to be ready to work with other people and to cooperate with other people. And it doesn't matter if you're introverted or not, because if you're introverted, then you're going to take less time talking to other people. But at some point, you have to talk to others. You have to live with others. You have to work with others. So you should be prepared that you'll be socializing. And this volunteering is all about socializing, getting new experiences. And I really allowed myself, because I believe that until the day you die, you should be open to new experiences. And now when you're younger, it's sometimes easier to be in the spaces and meet more people. So I'm completely up for it, and I did see what it led me to, because I am a completely different person also, because I wanted to be a completely different person.
Amazing. Also, I would add here respect to the country, to the culture,
Absolutely.
the place that you're going. So being open-minded also consists this word as well.
Yeah, because for example, Poland is I come from Georgia, and Georgia is more conservative than Poland, but in comparison with like a Western Europe, Poland is definitely more conservative. But I have never been bothered by this fact. And Krakow also to me feels like a very European country, even though there are some differences here. I definitely appreciate them until somebody's rights are, not considered or something. Just you have to, when you're moving to other country, of course you have to respect their culture.
Exactly.
And it's not your country, you're moving to a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah. Like, because, for example, that remind me that we Spanish people, if we go to another country, we are going to find Spanish people for sure.
Es que we are a mafia.
Like we are.
They are everywhere.
Everywhere. So, yeah, we have to also keep in mind that, you are going to find Spanish people, but you should also meet people from abroad. You're not going to have this opportunity to be with people from Spain. You have Spain. So go abroad and meet people from outside and talk, because we have a lot of differences, but also a lot of similarities. Yeah.
I agree.
It's amazing, right? I mean, discovering another person's culture, language,
Food.
from very close to
Food,
food.
food, important.
Routine. I mean,
Yeah, shout out to pierogis.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. We're going to the final stage of our podcast, and I really wanted to talk about. We talk about the projects, the experience, and everything, and we also got to the you have to be open-minded, and I wanted to talk about mentally stable. You have to be mentally stable when you come to a project. You have to be prepared. You just don't choose a project and don't say, yes, I'm going to do a volunteer because it's they pay you. I want to run away from the things and blah, blah, blah. No, because later you will it will be. Sometimes it could be better for you, or like you will enjoy the experience. But sometimes if you are not prepared, as you say, like maybe you work with children with disabilities, you are not prepared for doing that, and you came just because you wanted to run away. No, think about your actions and think what you're going to do in the project.
That's true. You also get prepared for the weather. You have to take your coat with you.
Or no.
You have to expect maybe more or check weather predictions before coming here.
Yeah, check what you want to do because you have many options. So don't just run. I think in maybe take 1 week to look all the projects to see which one fits you the most and be prepared mentally. For example, there are a lot of projects with social media. For me, I don't like to do that because I'm not in the social media or organizing workshops. So okay, you have a lot of opportunities, but if that is not your way, you are going to find another one for sure.
There are thousands of them, a lot.
There's a lot
across Europe, and also you can find partner countries. For example, Turkey, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, I guess.
Even South America.
Even South America, but they are not European. Europeans, they are not in the framework of European Solidarity as far as I know. They're different type of volunteering things, but we're talking about for
they
ESC
were in the
here.
web page and
They are different, but you can find them as well. Maybe trying this experience first and then going somewhere else, like another continent, not another country. So going South Africa after South America, yes.
South America.
After this experience.
Yeah, I also want to mention, once again, to get back to this, to be mentally prepared, definitely, because, for example, like, it's about you knowing, and I don't expect, for example, because we have, like, I'm 24, and we have volunteers that are 18, 19, and, of course, when you're 18 and 19, you don't really know yourself emotionally that well also. You don't know your emotional capabilities of what you can hold into yourself. So, but at least you should have an idea. Like, when I'm coming to volunteer for like a special school with special kids, like, I have to know, like, if I'm, only interested in like informational technologies, for example, I of course know that I'm not going to be able with the kids, right? So sometimes there are cases that you discover that you're able to work there, but I think it's a huge risk to take when you are not sure if you're going to fit in that field, just because, of course, people do volunteering for many different reasons, but there are also responsibilities that are coming with it also, because if you will not be able to work in like a specific place, then you're going to put yourself in a very stressful situation. You're going to put the environment also in a very negative situation where they no longer have a volunteer and you're no longer able to volunteer for them. So that's definitely something to consider.
The place that you are working, but also your flatmates. If you are not good mentally to do your work, you are not going to be good at home. Like, I think your all emotions affects your environment, like in the work, in the flat, everywhere.
Because there are some people, for example, I don't want people to look at volunteering as like for like a therapy, that I'm gonna, do a therapy, because it's not gonna happen. No, because there could be the opposite occasion that you're gonna be more stressful. There are all kinds of experiences when you're volunteering. But if there is something happening, because I had this moment, like, I'm not like I was always telling my friends, because I always wanted to move out from Georgia, and my family knows that, everybody knows that they're all very supportive of me moving out. And I knew that I would not miss living in my country, but even so, I had like few days when I was not depressed, but definitely, a moody person during these days, because I was homesick for a little. And this is something that I did not anticipate. So you should be prepared for those kind of things. And as a volunteer, you also have the opportunity to seek psychological help, meaning that you can attend therapies.
Yes,
I've not used this service. Yeah, I have not used it, but there should not be any stigma around it. Of course, when you're moving, like, I'm a psychologist, but I'm planning to go to other psychologists, and I've done therapies, and I've been attending therapies with other psychologists, because that's how it works.
Yeah, actually, I use that same.
Yeah, so you should not be scared to use this, because there are a lot of emotional things that could happen, or just you being away from your home, family, everything, new country, new culture. So you should be ready to face these things, and you can use the help from...
Yeah, I was thinking, like, do I really need that? Because I'm okay, but at the same time, it's like, why I'm not going to use that if I have the opportunity? Like,
exactly.
you have it and you're just living abroad, meeting new people outside from home. True, I was also homesick a lot of times, but also knowing that I'm here living a good life and I'm happy here, like having my mind here.
Yeah, we're kind of lucky again because STRIM gave this opportunity to us. As far as I know, most of organizations don't give this the occasion for volunteers to discover or just go. And as you said, and check how is it maybe.
Mm-hmm. Just talking with a person that is not in your daily life.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, thanks to STRIM.
Also, like when you go to a volunteer, you're not doing only your volunteer. Also, it depends on the organization. We're saying STRIM is the organization that we are here with Poland, and I think it's also good because we had super good opportunities and more opportunities than doing more than a volunteer. Workshop, this podcast, going to, I don't know, to do a workshop of psychologists or doing workshop of pottery is more than a volunteer. You will have more experience, and I think that's good that the organization offers you this.
Yeah,
yes.
And you should also be ready to invest and be open to do some,
Mm-hmm.
Propose ideas and things. But I also want to mention this thing that like because initially Emir said that, we are lucky that we are in a big city, which is Krakow. And I think, and I would not pick any other city in Poland because Krakow is my favorite city, but I also want to say that because some people are scared of, going to places that are less popular or less famous. But during this arrival training or midterm training, I met a lot of people from smaller villages or towns in Poland. And sometimes I envy their experience, volunteering experience, because more or less every organization or workplace is prepared to, do their best to offer you good volunteering, whether you're located in the capital or outside of the capital. Because I have friends, for example, in Gdynia, and their volunteering experience is also very amazing, and they might not be working with special kids because some places don't have school for special kids, for example, but they have different opportunities. Like some of them are working for dog therapy there, and there's always something to do. And of course, it's a good fact and good reality right now that we live in Krakow, like a big city. But even besides that, and if you end up in like a small village or something, I think you have the fair chance to have a good, volunteering there also.
Exactly.
So not to be intimidated by it.
Yeah, there are different types of volunteering projects. So that's the thing, being prepared before going a project or checking the project which is compatible for you. So you can have volunteering in library, in a kindergarten, in special school, in nature.
Boy Scouts, there's
yes,
like a lot.
Amazing places and amazing projects, so it's completely up
and
to
have
volunteers.
fun, because volunteering is also all about having fun while you are doing these things. And you have all the opportunities, because you're not working for like 9 hours or 10 hours a day. You're not pressured that much. So you should, enjoy these experiences as much as possible.
One of my favorite things, like, okay, you have your working hours, your schedule, and then you can do whatever you want to in your free time. Like, it's not something that, for example, when I was studying, I went to the university, but then I had to study. Like, was all the time focused on that. Now you have your schedule, you work, and then you do whatever you want to with your friends. And
that's also a volunteer. Volunteer is not only going to work, it's also the other part. Traveling, meeting people, and I have to say that you will always have support. Like, don't be afraid. You say, I'm going to be alone. You will always have support, either from your organization here in the country or from the organization in Spain, but you also with the people that you are working with, the people that you are living here, so you will always have someone.
That's true. I mean, yes. It's all about fun, mostly, we can say, but there are, of course, challenges, and they're gonna be, of course, they're gonna challenge you, difficult times are gonna happen, but you have to be prepared for it, be open-minded and motivated to achieve, because if you believe, you can do anything you want.
Yeah. So I wanted to say thank you guys very much for giving your opinions and everything. Hope you enjoyed this time talking. And I think we can finish for today.
Yes.
No?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. And I think it was very helpful for people who's interested with this. And I had really good time with you guys. It was amazing talking to you. Which is happening every day, but still good.
It's always good to talk to you, Emir. I also have to say thank you. I love doing this podcast, and I really hope that... Actually, I don't really watch that much podcasts, and I don't like them that much, but I really hope that this one will be very useful for the future volunteers.
Thank you, people that listen to the podcast till the end.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, ask.
Leave it on the comments.
Leave it in the comments section below.
So, a goodbye from Susana.
Goodbye from Emir.
Goodbye from Carmen.
And goodbye to our listeners from Davit.
Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
Bye bye.
Cześć.